Hello and welcome to the Sploder tutorials and tips and tricks series here on my channel. So in the previous episodes we've gone over the control section. Today it's the widgets, or widgets as some people call it. I call it widgets. I don't know if that's a proper name for it. I'm guessing it is. I'm going to go through each one using this square, and in your own time you can apply it to a game situation. Of course, some of these I have used in my games. Please watch the video tutorials on the I button up here or scroll through my channel. So I'm going to be using this square. These are the settings used. I'm going to show what each one does. First of all, the elevator. This moves an object back and forth along a groove joint. So for this to work, you need at least one of these three, probably this one. And as you can see, it's good for like an elevator, a lift. This is used on one of my basic advancing tutorials. Of course, this is quite useful if you want a lift system or something along them lines on your game. The spawner is kind of also important on some of these space shooting games, because this allows your character or whatever it is to get duplicated. Of course, it could be projectiles from lava or whatever. As you can see, it spawns my square. By clicking on the arrow, you have all these options here. The connect option, so this select two objects and drag onto the main object to connect a smaller object. Connected objects do not collide. Do not collide with anything. Good for connecting spawners to moving objects. So of course it needs two things. So let's say we've got moving object in this case, and we've got the connect. So you must select two objects. Okay, so like that. So as you can see, it's connected it to this. It's something I've never actually used, but it's pretty good if you want to connect like rotating things, or in this case we've got the double lift, as you can see here, which it's something I've never used, but it could come in useful for advancing your game just that bit further. So let's drag this square off, keeping on this. The factory, now this is something I've never ever used. The description is that when the description comes on, alright, so the factory, from previous times I've actually looked at this, it allows you to group up shapes to spawn them in. So I've never actually done it, so something like this. Okay, yeah, you could group up, so it's another way of grouping up things for the spawners this time, rather than connect being like to the elevator. So this is something I've never used, but it might come in useful. Now this next thing is really important, because the group option is up here, by the way. That will come in useful. Now the event link, now this is something what I've used a lot for like coins removing barriers. So let's say we touch this with the character now, as so, this would then remove or explode. Yeah, let's do explode on center, meaning this would explode too. So let's just get a character now. This, on the last episode you may have noticed, is the clicker. By clicking this, that should explode. Of course, in this case it hasn't. Don't ask me why. So you have to put in the right sensor layers. We'll try again. Oh, I don't seem to work that. Anyway, but that is what it does. It does link things over to another object. Now, it should be on another tutorial I've got, but it is useful, and I have used it on my Sly Fan game as well. So back into the widgets. The switcher is good for something moving along the elevator. It just allows it to move left or right at a different stage, as you see there, bounced up and down. It's just a bit more randomness. Good for enemies like Mario enemies or your basic enemies on games. The last ones are the E-magnets. So this, drag this onto an object to turn it into a magnet which can switch off or on or off. So this means when you press the space bar, you may see it magnetic things. So in this case, sometimes this can be pan wrong one, magnetic. By pressing this, it attracts that. Now in this case it's not close enough, so let's put that there. It attracts it to that. Now it blew up just because I've put the sensor layers on, but it's a magnet system what attracts, and it's good for games like if you want to use a magnetic wall jumping up and down. It's pretty good, and it also adds effect. The pointer, now the pointer on here, drag this onto an object to make it always point at whichever object is being controlled by the mouse. So in this case, moving around, it's a bit like the controls section there. Finally, the propeller. This is kind of a physics wind and would project things. Now in this case, you can see they move towards each other there. It's just to change direction of some locations. Anyway, as you see there, those are the widgets. If you want to go over any more, go on to my eye icon in the corner or scroll through the channel to look at the other videos on my channel. Make sure you subscribe and like for more content, and also other content available on this channel as well as Sploder. Anyway, please request your own tutorials, as I'm happy to do whatever now, as we've got loads of, well, whenever the world ends will this channel end basically. Anyway, until then, I'm Oliver Eaton, thanks for watching, goodbye.